Why do people watch sitcoms? One word, characters. Why will someone read your script all the way to the end? One word, characters. If I could have another word, I would have the word relationships, but you can't have relationships without characters. So that's what we're going to do here on the Situation Room. We're going to focus on those. My name is James Carey, and I'm all about helping you write better sitcom scripts. I've been writing scripts mostly for the BBC for the last 20 years, and I love talking about sitcoms. Are your sitcom characters working? Maybe they're in every scene, but they're not very funny, and they have to be because they're important, but you don't know what makes them tick. They're not really saying funny things. Or maybe they're really funny and they have no reason to be anywhere and it's not really working. This is all completely normal, very common. What we need to think about is our sitcom characters. They need to be funny, but they're not vehicles for funny lines or jokes. They're people with dreams, deep desires, and dreads. And this is why they keep banging into each other, because they have competing, conflicting, or incompatible desires, which is funny. And this is why they give out terrible advice to each other, because they assume that everybody wants the same things as they do, which they don't, which is also funny. It's not about who they are or what they're like. It's first and foremost about what your character really wants. That is the engine of the character. That is the source of their motivation, their desire, and their fear. What are they afraid of? What do they really, really want? You see, your character doesn't want things, or they don't even want achievements. They want the abstract nouns that those things bring. So that could be security, or freedom, or love, or respect. Normally, they only want one of those things above all of the others. But it's easy to make the assumption that your characters want what you want. And you have to really get your mind into these other characters and other ways of thinking. So let's take this out of the conceptual and let's get real. And I'm going to cheat because cheating is far quicker. I'm going to be using enneagrams. I have no idea how the enneagramsters arrived at their conclusions that there are 9 types of people, but I think they're quite clever, they're quite powerful. Maybe there are 9. Myers-Briggs has 16 types. I prefer enneagrams though because they are generally great for helping us think about basic needs, fears and desires. But I'm going to change their names to help us think bigger and funnier in our sitcoms. So today we're going to start with type 1, the Goodie. Or you could also call them the goody-goody. You see what I've done there? Very clever. The Goodie's greatest need is to be good, is to be morally virtuous. It really matters to them. They want to make things right. They're terrified of being seen as corrupt or evil or defective. They're conscientious, they do the right thing, and they're often the angel on the shoulder of your other characters telling them the right thing to do. This is Michael Bluth in Arrested Development, played by Jason Bateman. In a family of crooks and freeloaders, he wants to do the right thing, and he wants to do the right thing the right way. And it's really important to him that he's not like his venal, lazy family who flout the law and help themselves to family company money, which they're not allowed to do. Another character like this would be one of my favourites, Benton Fraser in Due South. He's the Mountie in one of my all-time favourite comedy dramas. I just love that show. Now, the goody-goody, or the Goodie, is not necessarily a protesting activist. They're not even trying to change the world. An activist might be, say, pro-nature, but have no personal scruples at all. They might be pursuing social justice in order to win respect or find meaning. The Goodies aren't like that. They literally, actually want to be good and to do good. You don't really need any more than that for your sitcom character. You want to be thinking in sort of big characters, cartoon-like characters almost. That's what they're like on Arrested Development. They really are larger than life. And it's up to you what kind of goodie they are. But in general, characters like this are awkward because they implicitly hold everyone else to account, to a moral standard that everyone else sort of believes in but would really rather not acknowledge. So let's create a goodie in a sitcom, say set in a restaurant. That's what my examples are going to be in this little series on characters. Let me introduce you to Pam, who is too good for her own good. Pam is a young waitress who has just finished school. This is her first job. The world is her oyster, but like an old oyster, it also kind of stinks. But Pam isn't going to be part of the problem. She is good. That means she's scrupulous about declaring her tips because it's the right thing to do, even when her colleagues don't do that. Sure, some would say she's naive, but actually she's kind of adorable. And whenever she is asked for advice, her advice is always do the right thing, own up, tell the truth. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. That never wavers for Pam, and that gives you a really strong motivation for her throughout all of your episodes as you plan them and think about plots. Now, Pam's problem is that being a good person means she doesn't want to dump on her less ethical colleagues who have problems and flaws of their own. Maybe she's very sympathetic. There's another version of Pam where she's actually quite judgy about them, but that's not the Pam that we're going for in this one. She has to make compromises for her colleagues, for her friends, for her families. So, for example, she'll have to lie for one of them because she really wants to help them. And of course, lying is the worst possible thing that she would do, particularly being caught in a lie. So she will need extensive training and role playing in lying. And in a sitcom, that will be a funny scene. She will be exhausted because the prospect of lying will literally keep her up at night, giving her sleepless nights. Maybe that means that she starts getting the orders wrong in the morning when she's doing the breakfast shift. And then her worst nightmare is realised. She is exposed as a liar and she is utterly mortified, offering to work extra shifts in order to atone for her wickedness and her sins. Each week she has to make compromises because her co-workers just aren't as good as her. And that's why Pam is funny. We love her. Go Pam. Anyway, that's the end of this one. There'll be lots more videos like this, so do subscribe to the channel. But even better, go to my blog. The link is below and you'll get updates on these and also loads of other information into how to write better sitcom scripts, because that's what I'm all about. Thanks for watching. See you next time.